Hi guys, welcome back to the Plant-Based Chow. I'm Holly Gramling and today we are going to be making a very quick and easy corn chowder soup. Alright, so today, come on in Jericho and let's show everybody what we have as far as ingredients go. Alright, so down here we have, this is actually about 3 small onions. Here we have celery. Again, I used probably about 8 stalks of celery, about 6 inches long a piece, and I just cut them up into small pieces there. Here, this is 6 cups of potatoes. Now, I added a lot more potatoes to this recipe because my family and I love potatoes, especially in our soup, and so I wanted to add extra. But you don't have to use 6 cups. You can use anywhere from 2 to 6 cups, whatever you like. Here I also have 4 cups of corn. Another little note about that is that I'm using canned corn today, and that's mostly because corn on the cob is not in season right now. But with this recipe, it is more ideal to use the corn that's on the cob, and then you would take it and you would roast it over the fire on your gas stove if you have one. If you didn't have a gas stove, you would like put it in the broiler and kind of roast it really well to kind of get that another layer of flavor, that roasted flavor to it. But since I don't have corn on the cob and I don't like buying it frozen from the grocery store, it just doesn't taste the same to me. I'm gonna go ahead and make it this time with canned corn and see how it works out. So yes, we have the corn there. Here I have 6 cloves of garlic, and my cloves were very big cloves, so I ended up with a lot of garlic, but I'm okay with that because we love garlic. I have 4 tablespoons of flour, and this is 2 teaspoons of this salt-free chicken seasoning, okay? So this original recipe called for to use like the old, I think it's called Old Bay seasoning or something like that. And when I went to the store to get it, the only thing the store had was like this huge container, and I was just like, I'm probably not going to use that all, and I didn't want to spend that much money on it. So I looked at the ingredients of it and I found a smaller container of something that had pretty much the same ingredients, and this is what I had found, and it was much cheaper and it worked well. The first time I made this, the flavor turned out really great. So this is by Weber, and it's salt free and it's chicken seasoning, but we're not using chicken. So 2 teaspoons of this. All right, and what we're going to do first is we're going to take our onion and our celery, and we're going to come on over here to the stove. Come on. Okay, so we got our pan on the stove now, and I'm going to turn this on. While that's getting a little bit warm, I do want to mention another part of our ingredients is I'm using 12 cups of broth. This is only 8 cups in here. I'll be adding the other 4 cups in a minute. But I mix this in my blender because I use the Better Than Bouillon no chicken base for this particular one, but usually I do just use the Better Than Bouillon vegetable base. I like that one. It's better. I like the flavor of it better, but this is what I have for now. So in our pan, I'm going to add just maybe a couple of tablespoons of water, because we're going to water saute. We're not going to use any oils. As you guys know from some of my other videos, we're really trying to cut down on the oils, and it's been, just trying to make our vegan journey a little bit healthier as we go, little by little. We didn't jump in head first with everything, but we're getting there, making our recipes a lot healthier as we go. And since we've cut out the oils, I've lost more weight, which is great because I've been trying to get closer to my ideal weight. and it's just been, my face hasn't been broken out as much, and my hands don't hurt as bad when I eat a lot of coconut or olive oils and things like that. My hands tend to swell up and I'm all puffy and stuff. So since I've stopped using oils, I've noticed those differences. So yes, we have the onion and celery in the pot for right now. We're going to kind of water saute those basically and just let them get soft, which will probably take about 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, so now we have our onion and our celery all kind of softened a little bit, and it's good to go. So from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to add the garlic. Okay. And remember, you're adding little bits of water to this at a time to help prevent anything from sticking and getting burned or anything like that. And so I'm just going to add just a little bit more water. Give this a stir. And we want to let this kind of get that garlic in there, get it nice and soft as well, and get the aroma of it going. So it will take about 1 minute or so. And stirring that up, making sure nothing's sticking. Can you get it, come on in here, Jericho, and get a close-up into our pan maybe? See what it looks like, guys? It's a tall pan, short kid. So I'm going to tip it for him. So that's kind of what that looks like and what's going on in there right now. Alright, so from here, I'm going to add a touch more water again. And then I'm going to add our 4 tablespoons of flour, a little by little. So probably half, give it a stir, and then do another half. So what you're doing now is you're creating what they call a roux, I believe, in the chef world. And so this is going to help our soup thicken really well. And I'll have my camera guy come on in here and show you again what this looks like. So this is what this is looking like again. So everything's coated in the flour. It's looking a little bit dry again, so I'm going to go ahead and add just a touch more water. Not a lot though, because we're about to start adding the broth. Okay? So this is good there. I think that's good. So from here, we're going to start adding the 12 cups of broth. So I have it in my blender. And I'm going to add just a little bit at a time, mixing it up, trying to break up those clumps of flour, things like that. I'm going to turn up my heat just a little bit more as well. Get that going. So this is kind of what it's looking like. Okay, and then we're going to slowly keep adding in some more broth here. Alright, so we have all our broth in here and incorporated into this. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to add the seasoning that we talked about earlier, the chicken seasoning. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of put that in, give it a good stir. Okay, so we just added the seasoning, and so we're going to go ahead and add the corn to this as well. And we're going to let this simmer and let all the flavors combine. And then what we will do is also let this get a chance to thicken as well. And it's getting close, but it's going to take about 5 minutes or so to thicken. Okay, we're back, and my broth and everything has thickened up a little bit for sure. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take about half of this and we're going to put it in the blender and we're going to blend it up, and then we'll add it back in. Here's a little tip. Here's a story. You guys ready for story time? Story time. Ready? First time I made this, hilarious. So I put in I didn't fill it all the way up because obviously this is pretty hot, and so I knew that putting it in here in the blender and then turning it on would create a lot of pressure and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that I left enough space for it to be able to blend without exploding everywhere, and I was wrong. So and it exploded everywhere. So little tip: don't overfill your blender. If you think that you've left enough space, you haven't. Leave a little bit more. That was my my lesson. So I'm just going to use the ladle, and I'm going to fill this probably about a quarter of the way full, maybe a little bit more, but not much more. So, all right, so I put that much in there because, to be honest, I'm pretty scared. I don't want it to explode again. So we'll be doing this a couple of times, but for the first one, I'll let the video go and so you can see. And so I just have this here, put this on, and I'm only going to put my blender on a low power speed. Jericho, you can come on up and over here so that they can see a little bit better. So I have a Vitamix, and so I have it on a lower speed. So we're going to just start out slow. Even slower than what I actually just started out with. And I'm really, really glad that I didn't fill it halfway, because that probably would have just exploded just now. So you guys get the idea. I'm going to go ahead and do that, probably do this one or two more times to make sure that I have half of the soup blended like I'm supposed to, okay? Okay, we have everything blended, half the soup blended, and I went ahead and poured it back into the pot. And so come on in here, Jericho, so that these guys can see what it looks like now. So if you can see, it's definitely thicker, and it has some of the corn is all blended up and all that good stuff. So it's looking good, looking good. Okay, from here, our very last step is to add our potatoes. And actually, looking at how much broth and soup we have here, I am so glad that I added more potatoes. So maybe you should too use the whole 6 cups of potatoes. I think that would be much better. So I'm going to go ahead and add these. And at this point, it's just now basically let these cook until your potatoes are nice and soft, and that's it. So I'm going to let these cook, and we'll be back to taste test in just a few minutes.
Hey guys, I'm your taste tester, Jericho, and I'm also the film guy. So I'm going to try this now. Okay, that's really good. Oh my god. I can definitely taste the herbs. Those are really strong. And yeah, and the corn. I love the corn. Yeah.
All right, guys, so there you have it. The 12-year-old boy likes it. My 12-year-old picky boy likes it. You can add fresh chives on top of the soup, or if you are like me and didn't have any fresh chives, I had some freeze-dried chives in the pantry, and so that's what I used to put on top of it this time. Thanks for watching this episode of the Plant-Based Chow, guys, and we will see you next time.